Today's recipe is going to be my last Christmas recipe before we are flying to Hong Kong for Sylvester, New Year's Eve. And this one is a very traditional German recipe. It's a German bread called Stollen, and it's called Weihnachtsstollen or Christstollen. So it's actually invented for Christian, for Weihnachten, and it's in a city in Germany called Dresden around 1500. And this recipe is so old, it has been changed over the time. At the beginning, it's only used water, yeast, oil, and a bit of oats. Now the modern recipe used lots of dry fruits, sultana, raisins, candied fruits, and a lot sweeter and lots of butter. And hopefully you'll enjoy this traditional German recipe for Christmas. To make the dough for our Christmas Stollen, we will need 1.5 bag of baking yeast, dry yeast, 500 grams of flour. Here this one is type 550. 175 grams of softened butter, the egg yolk from 1 large egg, 140 milliliters of milk at room temperature, 70 grams of raw sugar, brown sugar. So firstly we're going to warm our milk in the microwave, but it's warm, not hot. Now we can put in our dry yeast. We will need 3 tablespoons of dry yeast, adding our sugar, mix it up, and we're going to set it for about 5 minutes just to let our yeast grow in our warm milk. Here we have our 500 grams of white flour. Now we're going to crack 1 egg, adding our egg yolk, our softened butter, adding our yeast milk mixture, and we're just going to knead our flour until it's smooth. Once we have our dough, then we can take it out. Add a bit of flour on our working surface. Then we will continue knead our dough for about 5 minutes until it's smooth on the surface. I actually knead it for about 10 minutes, and you can see it's kind of smooth. And we're going to put this back into our bowl and cover it and let it rest for about an hour. So here is our dough after a little bit more than 1 hour, and you can see it grow about 2 to 3 times bigger in size. And I just put it in the oven. You can put anywhere warm, because right now it's in winter, the room temperature is actually pretty low. So firstly we're going to add in some lemon zest, and usually I will do this myself, but this time, in this case, I'm just a bit lazy. And here is our raisins, so sultanas, and candied fruits. Here are 2 kinds of candied fruits. One is orange, the other is lemon. And I soak these in the rum. And here is how you can make it. First of all, taking 80 milliliters of rum, adding our sultana, adding our candied fruits, candied orange. Leave our fruits in the rum for at least 24 hours. So a bit of flour, loose flour on our working surface, and we just take our dough out. This is pretty easy because it's fluffy and lots of butter inside actually. So we're just going to take a bit of our candied fruits, and here we just want to make sure there's no rum, actually no liquid in them, and we're going to knead this into our dough. So we're going to do this a few times, so we'll make sure our fruits are evenly in our dough. We will need about the zest from 1 lemon, so we can just roughly estimate it how much we will need. So about the quantity of 1 lemon, and we're just going to knead this into our dough as well, slowly. Our dough takes a lot of care, so we have to knead this properly until we just adding all our fruits inside of the dough and make sure they are spread out evenly. And it's easier when you add a bit of loose flour on the working surface as well as on your hands, and so your dough will keep dry, and you just keep kneading this until all our fruits are inside of the dough. And while kneading this, sometimes they will fall apart. You just add them back in. And now we want to form 2 equal sides of our Stollen dough, and we're going to let it rest for another 30 minutes in a warm place. Here now we have 2 portions of Stollen. They have rest in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes, and you can see they grow dramatically in size after 40 minutes. In our Stollen, we're going to add a bit of marzipan. This is optional. If you don't like marzipan, you can just simply roll out your Stollen and bake it, so you can skip this step. So each portion of our Stollen, we're going to put in 125 grams of marzipan. So firstly, as always, add a bit of flour on our working surface. Then we can take our dough out. We're going to add a bit of flour on our roller as well, on the surface of our dough. Then we're just going to roll this out. So we are rolling our dough to an oval shape. We want to have it for about 5 milliliter thick, and we can just add our marzipan inside. You could see how much fruits and raisins we have in our dough. It took a while before we could knead in all our fruits. Here we have our marzipan. We're just going to roll this to a long stick shape, and it should be a bit shorter than the width of our dough, so we will be able to close it on both sides later. Now let's roll our Stollen. So we're doing this from bottom to the top. Here we just roll it and close it. Close both 2 sides. Now take our baking tray and lay a baking sheet on top. As for our Christmas Stollen onto our baking sheet, you can also lay a tiny bit of flour on top. This will also prevent our Stollen from sticking. Stollen. Stollen. Is it?
Stollen.
Stollen. Okay, Stollen. Anyway, so we are going to put this into the oven and let it rest for 30 minutes. Then they should grow in size again. Then we are going to set off oven at 200 degrees Celsius, and we're going to bake this for 10 minutes and put the temperature down to 190 degrees, and then continue to bake this for 30 minutes. So let's just rest our Stollen. Stollen?
Stollen.
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 Stollen. Ah, Stollen. Deutsche ist schwer. Well, my oven is preheating at 200 degrees Celsius and my Stollen is resting. We can crack one egg. Eat our egg. Now take our Stollen and we can just unwrap it. You can see they're growing. We're trying to have the shape we want and keep a bit of distance because they're gonna grow while we are baking them as well. Let's brush our egg on top of our Stollen. This will give it a nice and golden brown color while baking. And now we're going to continue to bake them for another 20 minutes. After 30 minutes of baking, here are our Stollen. While they're still hot, we're going to brush some melted butter on top, and we're going to brush a lot of butter. So doing this right after we're taking our Stollen out, so they're still very hot. And don't be scared. Can brush as much as you like. Once your Stollen are covered with butter, then we will need some powdered sugar or icing sugar. Just sprinkle on top to cover both. So the butter actually will help our icing sugar set on top of our Stollen. Now we just set them aside and let it cool. So here is my Stollen. Let's just cut it. You can cut it to slices. But you have to cool it before cutting. I'll just do some bigger pieces. You can smell the raisins. And inside is our marzipan. Look at that, so sweet. Let's give it a try. And you can see it's covered with powdered sugar and butter. Guten Appetit! It's really fluffy but dense at the same time. And lots of butter. Really sweet. And crispy, actually crispy here. So, frohe Weihnachten, Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoy this recipe. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave your comments below. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching, and check out my vlogs later in Hong Kong. See you later. Did you subscribe yet? If not, click here. Click here, click here. Every day, watch new videos at 6 p.m. Here are my recommended videos. Thanks for watching. 谢谢大家。